What is happening, YouTube? It's Matt Faircloth. Welcome to the Mentorship Monday program. I'm so glad that you guys are here to join us. And I'm glad for this program, and I'm grateful for the whole thing. Mentorship Monday program works like this. All you guys have to do is send an email to helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. That is helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. And we will answer your questions right here live. You guys can become guests on the YouTube show on Mentorship Monday. And if you guys make it onto the show, you guys get a month's for free membership of DeRosa Insiders, which is our insiders program that folks get to pick mine and Justin's brain and the rest of our team. You guys get to see what we're up to day to day and everything like that. So that's the thank you that we do for those that join Mentorship Monday. So please, after the show, email in helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. Email us a good real estate question, and we'll have you right here on the show. I want to hear from you, the random YouTuber. We are here for you, man. I want you to email in. You're watching us live here, random YouTuber. So thank you for your watching, and love to have you email in a question. There's your shout out right there, buddy, and a high five too. So I can't do this alone. I need my co-host, Justin Fraser. Come on in, Justin.
Hey,
how
everybody.
are you today, Justin? How are you, man?
Great. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. I held down the fort last week without you. You did all right. And but hey, it's not as much fun when you're not here with me doing it.
I know, right? You don't enjoy it as much without me. I know.
Not the same.
Let's see. I got Adrian, we've got Adam, and we've got the random YouTuber here giving us shout outs here, giving us props on Facebook and on YouTube. Welcome, guys. Yeah, man, I took last week off. Took my wife away for a little getaway for our anniversary. So it was good stuff. Yeah.
Well, I know you had a good time, and I know you didn't really take that much of a break because we spoke every day. But
yeah, I know.
Hopefully you have that relaxation feeling, that zen, like post vacation, and
that's where I'm at. Today it wasn't that bad. It was not a typical crack-a-lacky day coming back off of vacation. No, it wasn't that bad.
It feels like you got the relaxed vibe going.
Yeah, man, it does. So last week's episode was great, I heard, and I think it's going to go live. The polished version of that goes out on YouTube today. Yeah, we had a great a YouTube video that went out yesterday too. And one last week. The one last week was you talking with the contractor at Douglas Square.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome stuff. And then the one that we released yesterday was one that I shot for my new purchase from Diamond Ridge, from the residences of Diamond Ridge. Just 3 lessons on acquiring multifamily deals. So if anybody's watching right now, and you guys haven't checked out the last 2 videos on YouTube, you guys have to check those out. They're really doing well. They're being received very, very well by the community, and they both feature Justin as the star. He's always a star, but Justin's the star on that one. And I shot one. My wife just picked up my cell phone. She's like, "Hey, you need to give some tips." So I did.
Go.
Yeah.
She's good at that. She's good at bossing you around. It's
being
great.
the foot up my ass. Yeah, she's the one. Yeah, she's the Matt manager. I call her upper management. So
there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Insiders, man, just a quick note for everybody. Insiders has got some what's going on new at Insiders the next couple weeks, Justin,
DeRosa
that folks
Insiders
need to be
have
a part of.
On fire lately. We, with this acquisition, I start each month and I set out a calendar and we're going to interview our team members and everything. And all of a sudden, like this, we hit the gas on this property, and it's like every week we've got live videos from the property. They're following our due diligence. We're bringing them in to show them like all the behind the scenes stuff as we build out our CapEx plan. And it's actually been really, really fun. I think the insiders are getting a lot out of it. We're getting a ton of participation from people. And overall, it's just, we're continuing to reinforce the message. The community is growing. People are seeing how we're doing it. They're giving us really great feedback too. And they're sticking around, which means we're continuing to add value. And so the feedback's been awesome. The participation has been great. Just about 2 hours ago, I did a property tour with our man, James Wilcox, down in Lexington, Kentucky. And
I'm sorry, I missed that.
It was fun, man. James showed us the front of the commercial space, and we talked through the plans and how we're going to renovate that space and put the nice stonework on it and the new columns and just really elevate that commercial space on that property. And then we had some fun, and we went into a unit that had just vacated, and we got to see some of the fun stuff left behind. And it's normal and natural, but again,
I gotta
it's
watch
more,
that. I gotta watch that. I've
yeah,
gotta watch that video. I love to see. You get as real estate gives you a slice of humanity.
yeah,
You get to see just a bit of the darker side of humanity sometimes, what people are willing to leave behind, what they're willing to do, and what they're willing to not do, and stuff like that when they move out of their
yeah.
apartments
I
and stuff.
mean, furniture, phones. I mean, you would think that if you're going to leave
Yeah.
the apartment, you should maybe take your phone. I don't know, man. Listen,
They
whatever.
left their phone. It doesn't make sense. Furniture, I get. Furniture's heavy. I've seen a million couches get left behind in our units, and nice ornate bed frames.
A dresser, all kinds of good stuff.
The dresser in my daughter's room was an antique dresser that was left behind by a tenant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's beautiful, but it was stained and nasty. My father-in-law took it and refinished it. It's got like the dovetail thing, like the dovetail locks and stuff like that. But a tenant left it behind because it's heavy, man.
Yeah.
Wow. It's big.
Up and down the steps, in and out the doors. Yeah. Who wants to do that?
Yeah. I get it. Like, I'm not gonna move all that. But
Yeah.
I went and got a friend like, hey, let's move this. Anyway, Insiders is really taking off. If you guys really want to see the inside look at a real estate company and want to see some of the day-to-day that Justin and I do, including moving heavy dressers around and evaluating new deals and new properties and everything like that, just pick up your handy dandy cell phone, guys, and dial in to the number 66866, just over my shoulder here, 66866. Text the word DeRosa, DEROSA, our company's name, DeRosa, to 66866. And you guys will get a reply. You get lots of free stuff and free downloads, videos that Justin and I created and everything like that. But you're also going to get a link to join Insiders. And you can also just go to DeRosaGroup.com/insiders if you want to just do it that way. But we want to have you guys join. I'm sure you pay more than you pay for gasoline, more than you pay for coffee, more than you pay for a lot of different things. And Insiders is extremely affordable. And we wanted to make it that way because we wanted to give as much value to as many people as we could. So please come join us. Random YouTuber, man, how do I require $20,000 in the next 2 years so I can put a down payment on a rental house? You want to build that up. Now,
hold on.
I know you just email that. I know. That's a good question, random YouTuber. And I want you to be on the show because I know you're a fan. I've talked to you before in our comment sections on our channels. And I want to help you. That's a great conversation. I want to have 20 grand. Here's my submit this to you with love. Email that. You are playing too small. If you want to make 20 grand in the next 2 years, you're playing too small. I'm going to teach you how to put another 0 on that. Okay. But email me at helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. I want to have you on this show. And we're going to talk about how you can make $200,000 in the next 2 years. Okay.
200. Come on,
he
man.
said I misspelled that. Maybe you missed a 0. I don't know.
Come on the show. We'll have you on.
Absolutely,
would love to.
Speaking of being on the show, let's get our next guest in here so we can show everybody what Mentorship Monday is all about and what you guys should go email and help me at. Gene, how are you?
What's up, Gene?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, man. I love Monday. If you love what you do, you love Monday. I don't mind Mondays. Gene, thank you for submitting a question to help me at DeRosaGroup.com. I know you're already an Insiders member. Which is really awesome. So glad to have you as part of our community already. So what can we do for you today, brother?
Well, I'll tell you, I feel like I'm talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. So let me tell you where I'm at. I'm older than you, Matt. I'm 66.
Okay.
I'm a retired small business person.
All right.
And I started buying multifamily houses in 2014 up in Maine. And so we have just over 100 units now. Mm-hmm. And I've done it all with my own equity, but I've also been watching your videos. And I say to myself, how does this young kid go from, 15 units to 60 million in assets? So we're kind of thinking our business plan for the next. And I'm thinking, what is the magic elixir I don't have? So I have bought the book. But there's so many different ways to raise capital.
Yes.
But at 66 years old, that I want the moral responsibility of dealing with so many people. But so my question to you is, how do you go from 0 to 60 million and raise basically 25% of that capital do you have a billion munchkins in your closet giving you $50,000 plus? Or is there just, J. Paul Getty's family or some insurance
I
company?
wish. Yeah.
Educate me. You're always learning. At 66, I want to know how I can manage the growth of my capital base moving forward to expand my operations.
Well, first of all, Gene, you and I are going to be best friends forever because you called me a kid, and I love that. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I always come off of as a kid to everybody. Thank you. Listen, and I know there was a lot of compliments woven in there too. So thank you for your kudos as well to our success and all that. Now, first of all, you built up a 100-unit portfolio for yourself of single families and small multis and all that. Okay.
All multifamilies.
Got it. How did you do that did you get all that capital through yours? Is all that your money you earned through your business that you parlayed into real?
I'm a retired small business person.
Got it.
And like many small business people, I bought the building that my plant was in, and it was in downtown Miami. And I also bought the surrounding land. So when I cashed out of my business, I had a certain amount of money. So I started buying multifamily units in May. And I bought a 6-unit, then a 4-unit. We just closed on 2 15 units. But so now I'm looking to say, how do I kick it up a notch? Maybe we should sell off some of the small units, reinvest that capital into bigger units. But as I watch a lot of young people like yourself and some of the people that you've interviewed on your show, I just feel like I'm underperforming. Not that I want to see how much of other people's money I can get, but how can I do a blended approach maybe? So I'm talking to an insurance company now because insurance companies do loan long-term, but they also joint venture. We're talking to some wealthy people, but I want to hear, the story. I mean, do you just get on a horse with wings and come back with bags?
Yeah. It's just trust fund. It's a silver spoon in my mouth. It's all actually my money. I don't raise any investors and all that. No, none of that's true. It's been a long road, Gene, for us. Come on in, Justin. It's been a long road for us, for me anyway, and for Justin too. But for me, Gene, I started raising money from investors in 2011. And I did small deals, really small stuff. Like my first private equity deal was 2 townhouses, and the guy put in 50 grand, and we did 50-50 split. And we just built up from there. And now, I got a closet full of people that'll give us $50,000, $100,000. And sometimes we get people that'll give us, my biggest, I think, equity investment's a little over $500,000. So you can get folks that will put bigger chunks of change in there to your deal. So that's how we did it, was by going wide and offering what we want, what we do to a lot of people. That has to do a lot with my beliefs, with what I believe that real estate investors can do. I think that, again, I don't know if I have it. I can't reach it. The mantra for my company, the DeRosa Group, is to transform lives through real estate. And I believe that I'll soapbox it a little bit, is that America cannot rely on Wall Street anymore to reach its financial goals. Wall Street can be a part of the equation, but should not be the only part of the equation. And we're seeing transitions happen now where people are starting to invest more and more in other things. We at the DeRosa Group want to help people reach their financial goals. Middle America reach their financial goals through investing in things like real estate syndications. That's our goal as a company. So we're thinking out here, right? But the downside of doing what we do, which is like the Winston-Salem deal that you're familiar with, right? We're probably going to have, I don't know, what do you think, Justin? 140, 150 investors on that one. When you do the math on the amount of money we're raising and what the average investor puts in, Gene, it's going to add up to be about that. So that's 150 or so cats that I have to herd. Okay.
Let me ask you, so did you go out the deal in agreement, and now you're going to go get the investors, or it seems you're getting your investors on an ongoing basis because you're really kind
Yeah, you attract the we're having a connectivity issue with you, but I heard what you said. We attract the investors first. And now I'm not saying like, okay, I've got $8 million worth of dollars or interest or whatever in a deal, and I'm going to go and buy something with that money. What I'm saying is, it would be foolish of me to just get started. And you see this a lot of just getting started investors to say, I'm going to go buy a 100-unit apartment building. But the problem is it's easy to find a 100-unit apartment building, but it's really hard to find enough people that are willing to trust you to give you money to buy that building. So they end up having to give their soul away to their investors and to people to help them get that deal closed, right? You're better off building the database first of people that believe in you and that are willing to get into deals with you. Now, if you've got 100 units under ownership now, you shouldn't have a problem soliciting and building an investor base.
I have a lot of
yeah.
My biggest issue, you see a lot of dreams, and what I like about you, you're very hands-on. You know, it's just not trying to get somebody so you can pop % management here and 30% overage. My problem, again, post-World War II 50s guy, is you just don't want the moral ability to the investor that selling you the dream, you know, and kind of hang there. 5 years later, they're going to say, what happened to my 20%? I'm not selling. You know, so
you might not want to. I mean, the thing is that you've got to be able to have difficult conversations. I mean, Justin and I have had to have difficult conversations with investors before where, you know, our best laid plans didn't quite come to fruition. And we always have stuck into the deal to make it right. But deals have twists and turns and lefts and rights. And if you don't want to be that guy to have those conversations with investors, say, hey, listen, I told you we were going to get 18%, but it looks more like it's going to be 14, you know. Or even where you read my book, right? So, or like, hey, we just sold this building in Philly and we walked out of closing with $750,000, but guess what? It got stolen, you know, to have that. Imagine that conversation. Now you've read that book, right? Did you read the whole thing yet?
Yes, I read it along 66.
Gene,
no.
Plug your.
Yeah,
hey, Gene, plug the end of your microphone back into your computer. It's stuck.
You're jiggled. You got to rejiggle that. Push the microphone back into your computer. Justin's saying.
Is it in?
Yeah, I think you're there.
Right this way. Does it work better this way?
Yes.
Better that way. Do that.
Yes.
Don't move.
Whatever you just did is so much better.
I took the headphones off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's better. Perfect. Just keep doing that. Bottom line, Gene, is that you got to be able to have really difficult conversations with investors. My point was, in the book, I talk about how we had $750,000 stolen in a Ponzi scheme through somebody running a Ponzi 1031 exchange company.
Wow.
And we had that stolen. And I had to go to investors and say, this is what happened and this is what I'm going to do about it. You know, I mean, that was a rough day for Matt Faircloth, my friend. It enables you to go wide. It enables you to have a lot of investors that are willing to get behind you to go take down big deals like big apartment buildings and stuff like that. But the other side of it, Gene, is that, you know, you're beholden to them. You're a custodian of their money. And in some ways, you know, you've got to give up a lot to get a lot, you know. And so I don't know if you have to go there for where you are. You might be better off soliciting one or two larger investors and doing a joint venture. Which is JV is 100% different, you know?
Yeah. And so, well, I think that is great. The only other big question that I have, can I ask you one quick other question?
Please.
I'm a Jersey boy, so I grew up in Jersey. I go back to Jersey. So if I set an appointment for your busy schedule and go down there to take you out to lunch, Justin, you too.
All right.
I'll take you out to lunch and I can pick your brain a little bit more.
I'd love that. And I want to hear about how you built up 100 units on your in your portfolio. Give it to us quick. I think our audience would love to hear that. So yes, I'd love to go to lunch with you. I'm happy to sign that book personally you got in your hand there. Just Justin has to come too. And all that, because I think he'd love to meet you as well.
Absolutely.
But give us like a quick summary. What kind of business if we can pry a little bit, what kind of business were you in? And tell us the story of how you built up 100 units.
So I was a small business person, like many small business people. I owned a printing company. And I was smart enough to buy my building. And at the time, downtown Miami that I was in was a slum. So I bought the whole city block around me.
Nice.
For next to nothing. And the printing industry got destroyed with the internet and constantly reinventing yourself. But when I was 57, this would have been 2010, my wife at 37 years died. And you sit there and you say, what am I going to do? And so I sold my business, and the city of Miami grew up around me. The magic of real estate. They built the Performing Arts Center across the street. A gambling casino concern came in, and all of a sudden I made a lot of money. And I connected with my high school sweetheart, who I hadn't seen in 40 years, and we bought a property in Maine, a house to live in, a farm. I'm a tinkerer, like a small business person. I don't play golf, so I bought a 6-unit apartment building, and I bought a 4-unit. And in Maine, I told everybody it's like $1950. In Miami, everything's so expensive. Everything in Maine, it's like $35,000 a unit, $21,000 a unit. It was like, holy smokes! I was buying them for cash, and they were still coming out of the 2008 recession, so prices were down. And I just kind of learned it, and I enjoy it. And so the summers and fall, I'm up here, but then I go down to Florida. I have a house in Florida that I stay in. But I just shop deals all the time. I don't play golf. I religiously get on the multiple listings and look. And sometimes people brought me deals. Sometimes the bank brought me a deal. In Maine, there's only 1 million people. So if you got $250,000 in your pocket, it's like, holy smokes, look at this guy. In Miami, that doesn't get you an outhouse. So I bought all along the coast. I own all along the coast in Maine. We just closed. We're closing Wednesday, and I already closed on a 15-unit in Millinocket, which is the end of the Appalachian Trail. It's Baxter State Park.
Yeah.
And then my son is in Charlotte, so I started to encourage him to buy in the Charlotte area. So we got 20 units down there. And so you have the dichotomy. Maine, you get low price, very high yield, high capitalization rates, old inventory. So you really have to have a good maintenance program. And I buy them not expecting a capital gain. I buy them strictly for the yield, although we have a capital gain on them. Whereas in North Carolina, as with the population growing the way it is, the price push inflation is going to happen because of all the population. And my son is down there, so I figure we'll start buying there too. And I just enjoy doing it. I watch someone like yourself, and I've always told my son, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So again, I don't play golf. And so I go on roofs and I do a lot of construction work. But I'm at the point now where, as I project to be 70, I don't know that I want to do the property management work anymore. I mean, we have a property manager that works with us, but we're looking to download and build a team to get me out of the day-to-day so I can focus on the buy side. And so I'm thinking I really need to get into the $5 to $10 million properties to have the organizational structure underneath that I can, provide a value added.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think if I were you, Gene, first of all, I'd keep doing what you've been doing. I'd keep buying 5, 10, 15, 20 units at a clip. There's so little competition, and there's so few people that know what they're doing in that space. And there's not that many people investing in Maine. So you've got to be a kid in a candy shop up there. And that
a lot of competition.
There is?
There is not.
Oh, there's not. Okay.
There's
so
not.
But I mean, as long as you've got an economy to support the housing, for people that need places to live, I would scale out. I mean, what I did was when we got to about, 50 units, I scaled out a full property management company underneath the DeRosa Group and hired a maintenance tech, an office manager, and a property manager. And then I scaled up to 115 units and was able to feed the three of them. Maintenance guy made a salary, and I just billed his time to the properties. So that didn't come out of my pocket. That's what you need. You need like a 50-year-old guy in a pickup truck, to take your place.
Hire veteran. That's a mechanical engineer.
That's what I had that's what I had. I had an engineer guy that was like a mechanic in a factory and was retired. He was a mechanic in a factory, knew how to fix anything. And he just plopped himself in a pickup truck and just went around and did work orders. You need an office manager to pay your books and to pay your bills and to run your financials, that knows QuickBooks really well. You can start out with just a third-party bookkeeper, or they could be your wife, whatever. And then you need a property manager to handle tenant stuff and to do showings and to chase tenants around for rent, God forbid, if you have to do that. And that property manager person talks to the maintenance tech, and you, the PM, and the maintenance tech become this little trifecta, and you're off to the races. I would not try and buy 200-300 unit buildings or do it like we did. There's 100 different ways you can skin a cat, but you could scale to 200 to 300 units doing it in bite-sized chunks, Well,
I think at our lunch, we're putting together a presentation right now to kind of introduce our company. One of the things you said in one of your videos was that you had to change the network that you were in at some point.
Yeah.
And so what I'm doing is we're putting together a presentation, and we're kind of sharing it with selected people. Mm-hmm. Because again, I've had a business career. I've got some very good connections. And I do like the idea of getting a couple of significant investors possibly in.
Are you buying the properties? And Justin, we're going into overtime here, but we're going somewhere. I'm loving this. Are you buying properties that are beat up, that need a lot of work, and you're going in and turning them upside down when they're done, and when you're done with them, or are you just kind of get behind the wheel and driving them?
No, what we're looking for is if it's a slumlord, we don't want it, because if you get a good price, there's so much work that has to get done. Yeah, it's no good. So you're looking for something where there's low-hanging fruit, where there's some really quick stuff we can do, paint it, maybe put 10 to 25,000 in a unit or something like that. We've got a number of government grants. I've got a number of economic development grants that I don't have to pay back, that we've put in kitchens and windows. But I don't get anything that's a deal that would cost so much. And to get a Class A, so I'm a Class C property or a C plus property, but I'm not an A property because they just.
That's what we do. We only buy C's. Exactly. I'll leave you with this idea. Here's a little inception, this idea, and I think I'll probably triple your portfolio with this idea, Gene. So you ready? Okay. Here's what you do. You go and take a few of those money guys and gals that you have. They need to have a significant amount of capital because of my idea. My idea is going to be this. They're going to bankroll you on the purchases, and they're going to bankroll you on the renovations, and you're going to pay them a flat rate of return on their money while they're in the deal. So let's just say they put up, I don't know, I'll make up a number, $300,000, and that's going to buy the property, and it's going to renovate the property all with your team. Okay. You're going to get in, you're going to build it out, you're going to do the work, you're going to get the property cash flowing, and you're going to refinance it. And during the refi, you're going to give them hopefully all their money back. Okay. Yeah. They get a foothold in that property. It could be 15, 20%. So they've now got all their money back, and they've got 20% of that new deal, and they become your funder of every new project. Maybe you don't even have to pay them an interest rate. Maybe you just pay them with the equity, but they bankroll you on deals that enables you to scale and buy a lot more smaller units like that. That's what I would do. It's, it's the Burr strategy we talk about on Bigger Pockets all the time.
Here's what I like about that. And I'll jump in, because what Matt's talking about is staying in your lane and emphasizing what you're good at and what you've done. And so your track record is to pick up these properties around Maine, and you transitioned a very successful business into now a very successful portfolio, and you're running all over everyone, right? You've got the next 15, 20 unit property, 12 unit property, all those, small, mid-sized multifamilies, and you're crushing it. So you can attract money because you are that guy in that space. If you are going to say, oh, and the next thing is the next $5 million, $10 million property, that's not in your space. And I'm not at all saying that you can't do it and that you can get there and partner with the right people 100%. But if you can lean into what you are good at and what you're doing, there's no question for someone to write you a check. because I can look at the last deal and the deal before and the deal before and the deal before and see all this history and all this success that you've had, then I'm going to feel really good about writing you that $300,000, $500,000, $1 million check, whatever you need, because I know you've done it, and I know that you're going to do it again.
Yeah. What do you think, Gene?
Well, what I'll do is I will send you the presentation we're putting together.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold you to the lunch. For
Come on,
both of
let's go. I already got a place picked out. Let's go.
you guys are brilliant.
I hope you like smoked meat.
Matt knows where we're going.
Yeah. When you drive from Maine to Florida or from Florida to Maine, you're gonna have to come right through on the Jersey Turnpike, and you got to do it before Justin threatens to move to Florida. Or Justin's threatening to move? Actually, he's threatening to move to North Carolina.
He knows. I already told him about it. Yeah.
We'll do it sometime, maybe late August, early September.
I'm in.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll be here still. Let's do it.
Gene, I'd love to have you back on to get some more tips from you, man. Thank you. And I sent you the link to review that. Thank you. Please write the book a review. For anybody that has read my book, please write a review on Amazon. It is a huge help to me and to Bigger Pockets and everything like that. So please take the time to write a review. Gene, thanks for being on the show today, buddy. I'd love to have you back on more. I'm sure there's a lot more combos we could have.
And Gene, we're going to see you on DeRosa Insiders. And as you have questions, put them up there. And Matt and I actually are going live on Thursday on DeRosa Insiders. So anyone that's got questions there, questions for Matt, want to just talk through some strategy, we're there.
1 Eastern?
1 o'clock Eastern time.
1 Eastern.
You must be a member of DeRosa Insiders. So text that number right now so you get in if you want to be part of it. So
it's super, it's super affordable, guys. Come join us. DeRosaGroup.com/insiders, or just text DeRosa to 66866.
Gene, thank you. Stay on. I'm going to drop you down real quick, but stay on and we'll follow up with you after.
Cool.
Great.
Great.
You know, Justin, next level, man.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
But what I get out of it is that there are so many different ways to invest in real estate, and so many people think that buying an apartment building is the way to do it right now. That's what you have to do. And if you're buying rentals, you should scale up and target buying apartment buildings. And that's the path for a lot of people. It was the path for you and me. It made sense for us because we wanted to businessize this thing, and I had attracted a lot of capital because of this, because of this guy. And just because we were scaling and businessizing our company, but it doesn't mean that that's the only way to make money in this business.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got the king of mid-sized multi in Maine. I mean, come on, let's brand it, Gene. Let's go.
Yeah.
You've got a podcast here and everything. I see the whole
Maine multifamily. I love it. Maine multifamily.
Maine mid-sized multifamily. How about that? I love it.
So
Gene's the king over there. So
Gene is the king.
Listen, lean in. For me, it's about leaning into what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, what you know. And that's not to say you don't want to evolve and grow, but sometimes maximizing what you have and scaling that out will lead you to the success that you need.
Yeah. I agree. Great show. Cool. Thank you guys for watching. One more time, man. I can't say it enough. Help me at DeRosaGroup.com. Come join us on the show. Come have these awesome conversations with Justin and I. It's fulfilling for us too, and it's great fulfilling for our audience. Thank you guys for leaving your comments. Adrian, the random YouTuber, my man Nabil. Thank you guys for your comments today. I appreciate your viewership, and I appreciate all you guys. Justin, what do we got? Want to bring it home with me?
That's it.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great profitable week.